the African Export-Import Bank, the Afreximbank, is supporting governments, subnationals across Africa to increase the level of infrastructure that's needed to catalyze trade and economic development. You need trade. Now, one of the deals to support project preparation for bankable funding was signed at the ongoing Intra-Africa Trade Fair 2025 Summit in Algiers. Arise business correspondent Bosun Omofaye reports.
All right, this is where the African Export-Import Bank and the authorities of South Africa just signed a $20 million deal to support the country's quest for big infrastructure facilities, road, rail, water, and everything else in between. But what are the details of the new deal? Here at the IATF2025 Algiers, I asked two of the parties to this signing.
It's a really significant deal. It's a $20 million joint project preparation fund between Afreximbank and the Infrastructure South Africa, and it is meant to catalyze developments within the sectors of ICT, telecoms, trade-enabling infrastructure like ports, logistics, and industrial parks. So we expect that it will spur the growth of bankable deals that we will now be able to tender for attraction of debt financing and equity financing from DFIs like ourselves and prospective investors.
How soon do you intend to see South Africa catalyze this fund that you've already signed to actually get some of the projects going?
It's something that is going on immediately, because with the signing of this MOU, then we get to sit down to go into the next steps, which is agreeing the financial facility documents and then being able to disperse. So it's something that we want to really move on quickly in the next 1 month or two.
Do you see this as a pilot, something that should be done by more sovereigns across Africa?
Definitely, and sub-sovereigns, because if you look at it, the agency we are dealing with in South Africa is the South Africa Infrastructure South Africa. We want to see more of sovereigns and sub-sovereigns doing this, maybe with their sovereign wealth funds or their infrastructure banks, to come into joint project preparation with the bank, so that we not only catalyze funds together, leverage funding from both the bank and themselves to develop bankable projects, but we also transfer knowledge, because one good thing about the joint project preparation facility is that there's a capacity building segment of it that enables the bank and our partners like UNIDO transfer knowledge to agencies like Infrastructure South Africa, so that you can even scale their ability to identify bankable projects, develop it, and then attract debt and equity funding for it.
But how much more of deals such as this is needed to support Africa's quest for more than $300 billion infrastructure gap on the continent? And the Afreximbank says they're ready to do a lot more, not just for the sovereigns, but also for subnationals, states, governments, and municipals across the continent.
If you look at the African continental free trade area, it is mainly anchored on infrastructure development, because the only way that the African countries can trade with each other or amongst each other is if we build world-class infrastructure that will enable trade to ensue without hindrances. We also see this as an opportunity for us to consolidate the regional value chain for trade in Africa. So this is a huge milestone for South Africa, and we hope that it will go a long way in catalyzing projects that are aimed at making meaningful contribution towards economic growth in South Africa.
Now, the African Export-Import Bank says it's going to do a whole lot more to support not just the sovereigns, but subnationals, municipals, and state governments across Africa to catalyze further investments into their regions. Reporting for Arise News out of Algiers, Bosun Omofaye.